guys and girls. Well, we've spent the night here. Honestly, just look at this place. Right there with the mountain. Here, the river. Wow, super cool. Honestly, this place is amazing. So today I have for you the famous story I mentioned in the video about the village where around 20 people died. It's a village from this area. Some say it's in one place, others in another. I'll try to be as accurate as I can in my story, okay? The story of this village, they say it belongs to Quiros, and it's a village where around 20 people died. No official data or publications exist, making it difficult to find documentation. I'm going to leave you a newspaper clipping, which we also don't know if it's original or not, but it tells the story of the people who died there and a bit of the place's history. I'm going to tell you about it now. Everything I'm telling you, as I said, isn't really verified. The local press has tried to study it, historians too, even people who have made alternative videos, which you can also find on YouTube, even Cuarto Milenio, which I told you about. They came here to record the story, okay? It's a village where, in 1854, all its inhabitants suddenly died. They were found by the parish priest from Fresneo, a nearby village. It's about a 2-hour walk from there. And, of course, the parish priest only went up once or twice a year to hold a mass and to see the people of the village. And when he went up, he found that the snow had melted. When he rode up there on his horse, he found that everyone was dead. The truth is, it was extremely traumatic. He ran to try to go down and warn the town. The authorities came, they removed the bodies. There were children, women, men, everyone. Just imagine the scene that man had to witness there. When the authorities arrived, they found that, yes, they had obviously died, not because of any violence, but it seemed more like a mass death. It was due to some kind of toxin, poisoning, or some kind of substance they had consumed that caused their deaths. In the end, what they did was local botanists went up to investigate a bit what could have happened, and they assumed it might have been because they prepared the bread with a specific water that contained arsenic. That component caused their deaths. The local story was that a salamander that's here, a yellow one, or a type of salamander that's here, had poisoned them. But no, that's what they investigated, because when they opened the stomach of a dead pig there, they found a piece of bread. And they realized that everyone had eaten bread because it was in April of 1854, and they had the custom for religious reasons in this area of eating buns and bread during Holy Week. So it was believed that was the reason. The town was completely burned down. A mass grave was made where all the bodies were buried at once. The town was completely destroyed, and the only thing that survived from the town to remember it was a raised granary that is in a nearby town, the closest town there was. They disassembled, moved, and reassembled it there. Honestly, the story is really cool. The town itself doesn't exist. It's believed that there are some cabins that were built with the stones that were left there in the area, and that's what we're going to see if we can find. Because we've been researching what the story says, that it was sheltered by some rocks that come down from the mountain at an altitude of about 1,000 meters, kind of in a circle. There were some pretty specific details from the people who told the story. And by doing research on Google Maps and looking at some historical maps and all that, we found what we believe is the site. And in fact, we saw that there was a cabin there. Let's go see what's there, and we'll keep you updated. Well, we've reached the upper part, not the very top, but we're almost at the peak of the area we came to see. And the first thing we find are those 2 cabins down there. Right now they're being used by cattle ranchers, so we're not going to go inside them. But anyway, they're cabins that we suspect, because of the stones and all the tiles, might have been built with materials reused from the destroyed village of Mengollo, which is what we've come to visit. In this area where we are right now, I don't know if you can see it there. I'm going to go up right away up there. There's another cabin. Okay? That cabin, along with another one that we're going to see right here, which I'm going to get closer to, where it was a cluster of quite a few cabins. No, not just one. There were about 12, 13, even 14. I counted that many on a historical map I found. The historical map didn't have a name, so we don't really know if these cabins were the original village of Mengollo that was rebuilt with the stones left here, or if they're just livestock cabins. But personally, I find it really strange because we're talking about being in the very place the stories talk about. Yes, it could have been destroyed because it burned down, but we're also talking about the fact that the stones are still here and it could be rebuilt either for livestock use or with the same stones that were used to build the houses in the past. I'm going to try to go down to this one, okay? It's very unique because you can tell from the entrance stones and everything that some pieces were reused. I'm going to try to get closer to it and show you a little more of what the structure is like. All right. You can see that it's completely overgrown with weeds. And the whole area I walked through to get here is completely full of rocks. They're scattered everywhere. Small ones, big ones, and they all look like they used to be part of murillas, which are walls here or as parts of houses. I'm not opening the door since you saw the houses destroyed. But just so you can see the structure that was used here in the past to build and how the weeds are taking it over. I'll use this chance to mention two other versions since many people who have heard different stories about this village will watch this video, but I've focused on the most plausible ones. There are two other accounts, okay, about the poisoning of these people. Not only because of the arsenic in the water used to make the bread, but also because it's believed that a salamander fell into the water cistern, released a substance because it got scared, which is toxic, and poisoned all the people. It doesn't seem viable to me because a single salamander poisoning 20 people in a large water cistern seems a bit unbelievable. I mean, to me, it doesn't seem likely. That's my personal opinion. Another option that's being considered, which to me is the most realistic, is that the spelt used to make the bread has a fungus, and just 1 gram of that fungus is enough to kill a person. Imagine if the people who harvested it didn't notice the fungus on the spelt, they prepared the bread dough, and well, you already know how things ended for those people. So with these last two versions I've told you about, you can stick with whichever one seems most likely to you because, like I said, there's nothing concrete, nothing real that you can rely on in historical records. Now, after seeing these three cabins here, I'm going to go up to the cabins at the top, and then we're going to head to where everyone says the old village was, where there's only one cabin left. And two other things look burned, but as I said, that could have happened recently. So anyway, I'm going to make the trek up to the other side across the road that comes up here, and I'll show you the last cabins over there. We're nearly at the top. Those are the cabins I told you about. That's the last one we were in. Let's check out that one over there. What I keep noticing is that there's a lot of stone that looks like it used to be houses. Stone walls are everywhere. So I don't know. Personally, based on the historical map and the fact that it's sheltered by a ridge, I think it's more likely it was here. Because there are about 13 or 14 houses, and where there was a settlement, was there also a settlement in the past, or is that usually the case? Alright, so that's it. We'll visit the other place later and see. And then you guys can give your opinion. If you visit the place, you go up to Mengollo and compare which one seems more real to you. But as you can see, these literally look like houses with their stables abandoned.
¿Abandonadas?
Well, if they're locked, I'm not going to go in. I see they have locks unless it's open. No, it's locked and I'm not going to force my way in. Let's take a look at this one. This one is open and we can take a little look. Well, now they use it to store hay. Alright. There's not much to see here either, like I said, other than enjoying the place, the history, knowing that something like this could have happened here one day. And I'm going to keep going up to visit the other two that are over there, and let's see if you like all the views here, because I think it's beautiful. Just coming here for a walk and getting to know the place seems incredible to me. Well, and following what I see as the ridge mentioned in the story, we have another cabin over there. We left the cars there in the field. And what people say when I tell these stories, they refer to the ridge as that over there. So they say, or at least that's what I've seen in the recordings, that the village would be on that little plateau. That's where the cabin I told you about is, and where part of the structure is burned. We're going to check it out now since we have to go up the hillside and return, but first I'll show you the last cabin here. We're going to go down to see it. Wow, this is really steep, but I'm telling you, there are remains of buildings here, quite a few, not just one. And if I had to choose between the two places, like I said before, I'd go with the one where there are more cabins, which probably existed throughout history. The stones don't have any soot on them. What you see that's black are fungi that grow there, but to me it doesn't look like soot from something being burned. These cabins are still being used for livestock. As you can see. But here would be the other cabin, which, well, we're using as a stable. There's not much to see, as I said. You can see the row of manure there, and there's really not much else to see. I'm going to cross over, record it from the front, and then we'll head to the other place. This would be the other one from the front. So let's take the path I mentioned. We'll go up that way, and let's see what awaits us on that hill I showed you down there. We found these cabins, which are also abandoned. Who knows if they used stones from the village itself. This was a stable, as you can tell by the feeders. There. There's a food cupboard back there. Although the roof is scary and it's windy today, and I see there's nothing valuable either, so I'm not going to take the risk. Let's go see the other one that's already collapsed too. These are the last buildings here. As you can see, there's nothing left, nothing standing. Nothing. Let's go down here a bit more. I see another building over there. Yeah, that's right. There's another cabin over there. Looks like this was recently fixed. Yeah, this has an owner and it was fixed up recently. As you can see, there are more over there. There are a couple more of them over there. Look, it has an outdoor shower. They'll come here to spend the weekend. Anyway, this could also be the site of the old village. We're not very far. We're talking about 200 meters away. And as you can see, there are roof tiles all over the ground. Quite a few buildings here. Yep. A wall there too, which belonged to this house here. And this could easily be part of the village. Like I said, there's nothing reliable to go on. But this is the site. Here's another wall, which is another house. As you can see, there's the entrance. And there are probably more among the undergrowth of the forest. Even just the base of the house. Everything else is too overgrown. Only these can be recorded. And here, well, who can tell us there aren't more? Maybe buried somewhere around? I've been walking around and haven't seen anything. There are still some walls left around here. Do you see it? The remains of old buildings around here? And honestly, just because of the story of what happened here in this place, even if it was just word of mouth, it's known that village stories always have a bit of myth and a bit of reality. And people probably did die for real. The place, as you can see, is incredible for going for a walk. You could even come eat here, bring a little sandwich, and what a spot. This is wolf country. And as you can see, here's a wolf track. As you can see, well, my hand, so it's big, just so you get an idea, there's no livestock or anything here. Well, we found a dead horse, which I didn't film. Why not? Because it was too morbid. But a dead horse that was probably eaten by the wolves, or it died and then the wolves ate it. But this area has always been wild country, bears and wolves. I didn't tell you that before. Let's go to the village where the granary is preserved. And with this, I'm really going to end the video now. Locals brought down the granary to symbolically remember the village. It's still in a nearby village, so I'll see you there. To finish the video, this is the Panera. The Panera, as I mentioned in the first episode about the abandoned village, is where grain and food were stored. So that the mice wouldn't get in, they couldn't climb up these legs here because they would hit the stone and couldn't get up. This is the Panera they supposedly brought from the village where everyone died. And they've even put up a sign where it clearly says that this is the Panera from Mengollo, the ghost town. Next to it, there's an Oreo. The difference between an Oreo and a Panera is, do you see this little bell up here? Well, the Oreo has one and the Panera always has two. That's the main difference. Look at that valley. What a beautiful place. That village you see over there is Casares, which is supposedly the village the parish priest who uncovered this whole story came from, on horseback all the way to that village. But look at that valley. And he just went all the way up the mountain. Another detail this granary has is that cross on the Mengollo, which you can see drawn there. They made it in commemoration of what happened. Okay, they engraved it there. And with these views, that's the cliff where we were, the little village, the whole path we walked along, all the way here up to the last houses that were there, which you can't see from here. But look at this landscape, incredible. This place is amazing. Just for the history alone, I already told you it's worth coming to see it. And I hope you really enjoyed the video. It would help me a lot if you subscribed, liked, and shared the video. And, well, I hope you can come visit this place someday. And you can find more information about the town online. I explained it the best I could with the information I had. There are many stories about it. Some people explain it like a mystery, but that wasn't my goal. I just wanted to show you the place, the cabins in the area, and what you'll find here. And so you could get a glimpse of the history of this village and its inhabitants. So that's it, as I said. If you want to follow me on Instagram, you'll be up to date with everything I do day by day, especially on weekends. That's usually when I go out and about. That's it. See you in the next video. Bye, guys.